Hi guys, so today I'm going to go through 4 burst pipe scenarios and how they can happen. Right, the first one obviously is frozen pipes. We know you've got to keep them lagged whatever happens, okay, in the winter time they will burst. But there's one little tap that often gets neglected that does burst because you kind of forget all about them. I'll show you what I mean. Yes, and it's this one here, the outside tap. So what you do is find the little valve inside. You can turn it off, usually under the sink. A lot of these are placed in that position. Turn it off before the cold weather starts. Open the tap here to let the water out so that you've got no water trapped in there. So there's no water to freeze, and that's it until the springtime, until the bad weather is gone. So that's one you mustn't forget, okay? Number 2. This one concerns that little clip on the front of the video before this starts of the guy under the sink trying to get the water off. Okay, and there's a jet of water hitting him in the face. What's happened? Main stopcock, okay, it's under the cupboard normally in a terrible place to try and get switched off. So it's not been turned for years. So the guy reaches for a spanner and I think, I'll turn the water off. Now, a lot of people get confused which way these have got to turn. Okay, it's always clockwise to turn them off, all right, that way, clockwise for the water off, not anti-clockwise for the water on. Now what happens is these are often left hard back in the on position, so after a few years you go into the cupboard and decide you're going to turn it and it won't turn. So you get a spanner, you think, oh, I'll do it, I'll turn this, and what happens is people get the wrong way and they turn it that way and it cracks and you think, yeah, I've got it. Now sometimes this joint can be behind the cupboard so it started spraying but you wouldn't notice it, so you think everything's, you know, just a little bit of noise you can hear, it's not too bad, but you keep on unscrewing and thinking, you know, I've got it now, it's going to turn off in a minute, until it falls out. A jet of water will come out of that cupboard like you've never known, like on that little video that's on the front of this clip.
You need to shut the water off. Tell them to shut the water off.
One last one concerning the main stopcock is some other chap I knew a few years ago. His stopcock was shut down a long way to restrict the pressure, the flow of water through the house, because he didn't want it too far. So it had been adjusted right down, because if you adjust them down slow you get a really slow run out of the tap. So that's how he liked it. Well, eventually something got plugged up inside the tap because it was shut down so far. Some workmen had been working out on the road, some rubbish had gone up into his stopcock, so consequently he was barely getting anything out of the taps. So once again this guy decided, I'll open the tap a bit further and get my flow back, which seemed like a good idea. But once again, unfortunately, the tap had been left in this position for such a long time that when he put the spanner on it to loosen it, instead of loosening the head, that part, because it was locked in position, it moved the body of the tap instead, and the same thing happened. So another unwary one. That's number 2. That's a great one, isn't it? Number 3 then. Yeah, this one concerns nails through pipes. Yeah, we've all got suspended floors, or a lot of us have, whether you're in a bungalow or you've got a normal 2-story house, suspended floor upstairs. You may even have a concrete one downstairs, but you've still got that suspended floor up there. And what happens is lots of pipes get run under floors. F&E systems are particularly the ones you may have an airing cupboard along the end of a passageway and the bathrooms down the other end, so all the pipes get run under the floor, and that can be a lot of pipes. So you could have 2 central heating pipes going there alongside a hot and cold pipe that's also going that way towards a bathroom, or another pipe going down to the kitchen sink, whatever. There's quite a lot of pipes there. The mains may be coming up through there as well, and all running along like a tramway to get to the airing cupboard or wherever they happen to be going, to a radiator, whatever. But what happens, you get up at night and you usually make your way to the loo if you're my age and you tread on a creaky floorboard every night, and you get, you know, the usual complaint. That floorboard wants fixing, dear. It's really making a noise and waking me up at night. Every time you go to the bathroom, I can hear it. Okay, you say, so you go down the garage, pull up your trusty hammer and a box of nails, and you find where the squeak is, get your hammer now and whack. And straight through one of the pipes. Now, this has happened many times. I've been called out to lots and lots of call outs concerning nails through pipes. Now, I actually went to one time a long time ago that had actually been in the pipe for about a month. Because sometimes when they go in square and flat and the pipe doesn't move that much, it actually doesn't leak that much. It's just a very tiny little leak, depending whether, of course, it's the mains. If it's the mains, it will leak straight away quite a lot. But if it's a central heating pipe, it tends to just weep a bit until you start moving on that board and it starts to gradually make the hole in it a little bit bigger, then it increases in speed. So the first sign is a stain on the ceiling normally. Now, one thing you mustn't do is just go up and rip the board straight up. Try and work out what pipes are running there and whether it's going to be central heating pipes or whether it's going to be anything else. If it's the mains, as I say, it will go straight through, you'll have a terrific noise and you'll know to get that straight off. If it's a hot or the flame return heating pipes, it won't be so noticeable. So the thing what you got to do before you go taking that board up, because if you take it straight up without draining the central heating first, you will get a shot of water straight in the eye. The blast will come kind of up quite high. I did this first off years ago when I was a bit naive, but luckily I had a young lad working with me and I got him to put his thumb over the hole, which I could do because it was low pressure centrally until I got it drained out. So a little tip, if you think you've got a nail through a pipe, drain the heating out first, because if you're doing it on your own and you've got to take that board up, I guarantee you'll be in for a nasty shock. So on to number 4, and this one concerns outside pipes. Yeah, this is the ones that run into your house from the road. That's a main that is probably in plastic. Nowadays they are, the old iron ones that are virtually all gone. And the likelihood of you possibly putting a fork through the plastic main. Sometimes they're not that deep, you see, or you may be digging a hole for something and away you go. So that is another one to look for. Also, don't forget there is drains out there as well. So if you're using something heavy like a pickaxe or, you know, a hammer and a chisel or something going through some hard groundwork, and again you can hit a drain, clay drain. If you hit one of those, it is quite a job to fix. You've got to dig a massive hole out to repair a drain that you've broken by accident, obviously, but it does happen. So that is number 4. It's just another horrible one. Doesn't happen all the time, but do be wary of it and just keep a check where your main pipe runs from your house. Check where the stopcock is and see where it is going up your garden, where it enters your house, and you'll have a good idea what to avoid and where not to shove the old fork. Right. Okay, that's that one. Right, number 5, make this the last one I think, and this one concerns pipes in walls. Now lots of houses got stud walls these days, seems to be all the thing, and pipes get run inside stud walls, and so do lots of wires for that matter. Now either way, when you go drilling through these stud walls to fix something or other, it's very easy to hit a pipe if it's in there, and probably even worse, electric cable. It's a shocking experience, honestly. So a little tool for the job, I'll just show you one of the tools that I use for doing in drilling the walls. We call it a stud finder, but basically it finds not only electric cables and things, but metal, which is what we want, copper pipes now. But obviously if you've got plastic pipes, then that is another problem altogether. Absolutely no good in that area at all. So hopefully you've got copper pipes and not plastic inside walls, but it can be that some of you with the more modern houses will have poly pipe right through. So if you're just going to have to be wary, have a look where pipes run, and if you think you've got one inside a wall going up somewhere, then just be very careful where you drill. Anyway, I'll show you a stud finder, a picture of one. Yeah, there we have one right there, a Bosch one. Get a decent one if you need to buy one, not a cheap one. So before I leave you, just one last thing. Do make sure your main stopcock works and is capable of shutting the water off, alright, okay. Before you do anything, especially make sure that that is all fine. Also, it's a good idea to check your outside main stopcock, that it's not buried under a load of earth, and if you can reach it, just to make sure that that actually turns as well, just in case. So just little things that need checking now and again, because those taps after a little while will start to lock in position. So it's a good idea on the main stopcock every 6 months just to turn it a little bit with your fingers and give it a twist, a couple of turns back and forward, just to keep it moving and stop it seizing up, especially in hard water areas where lime scale gets a hold of it and it stops it from turning. So that's something else that's kind of like, put it in your calendar as a little 6 monthly job. Okay, well that's about it though. All my stuff, you know where to go, and I'll catch you next time. Derek33, bye bye.